If customers don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. All right, but building trust really takes time. It takes consistency, it takes transparency, and it takes building real relationships to get to that level. And today I'm going to share with you a proven framework that you can use to really build the level of trust that you have with your customers and get them to keep coming back time and time again. And I also want to share with you a free customer experience checklist that you can use to eliminate some of the frustrations that your customers have and really find a new way to build trust with your customers. Now, you'll find the link to that in the description down below. All right, so this is going to be a 5-step breakdown. 5 things that you can do to really build the level of trust that your customers are going to have in you. All right, so number 1, reliability. Do what you say you're going to do. All right, if you promise speedy service, but I spend my entire day waiting for you, now I don't trust you. If you promise safety, but you are my taxi driver and you fall asleep while you're driving, now it's hard to trust you. So consistency builds trust. All right, it takes time, like in any relationship. All right, trust is earned over an amount of time. All right, any organization can deliver a great experience once. All right, but the true test is when I come back into your business, am I going to receive the same or at least a close experience to what I had the last time? All right, and obviously the goal is that regardless of whatever team member I happen to be interacting with, that experience is going to be excellent across the board. All right, but very often that's where we fall short. Somebody does it great the first time, but it's hard to replicate that on future visits. Right? And when I can keep coming back time and time again, and I receive that same level of experience, well, now I know I'm dealing with a quality organization. And I feel comfortable coming back in and telling my friends and family all about them. So when we break a promise to our customers, when we don't live up to our brand standards, there are way too many options out there for our customers to choose from. There is an overwhelming amount of options out there, whether that's car dealerships or law firms, restaurants, it doesn't matter. Very often there are a lot more choices for me in a very short distance that I can go to now. All right, so there's just way too much at stake here. All right, if we can't consistently deliver at that great level of service for our customers, it's only a matter of time before they go out and find somebody else that can. Now, the reality is that at some point or another, you are going to screw something up with your customers. All right, it's going to happen. Happens to me, happens to everybody. But if you have built that level of trust, if you have shown time and time again that you are a quality organization, and that 9 times out of 10 when I have visited your business now, the experience has been exceptional or at least very good, now I might be more willing to overlook that one-off experience. All right, everybody can have a bad day. Everybody can screw something up. All right, but if we have proven that we can deliver at a high level, your customers are going to be willing to overlook that one-off time. But it's when that off time now becomes more the norm that now our customers start looking elsewhere. And I've got a good friend of ours, a good colleague of ours that does a lot of podcasting. And one time I was on his podcast, and he had used this platform for years. But this one time, for whatever reason, the audio didn't record. And so I talked to him about it. I said, now you've used these guys for a long time, right? You're probably going to give them another chance. And he said, no, there's too many other options out there for me. Yeah, while he might be a little bit more of an extreme case, there is very realistic that opportunity for customers to go elsewhere. So obviously our goal is that we want to be perfect. We want to be as great as we can every single time. But understand that you're going to fall short. You might need to make up for it. But when we understand that our customers have a lot of choices out there, we can't leave anything to chance. So number 2, be transparent and honest. All right, honesty, even when things go wrong and there's a mistake, helps to build trust. Very often, most people, they are wanting to throw somebody else in the organization under the bus. We usually want to shift blame off of ourselves. And when you do that, becomes clear that this might not be the right company for me. That they might not be a quality organization. Just very recently, I hired a guy to come over to do a vent cleaning for our dryer. We've been in the house for 10 years and I'd never done this before, so I figured we were way past due for this. So I found a great company that was highly rated online, called him and scheduled an appointment for the following week, and he gave me a 2-hour window when he would be there, and I don't normally like that, but sat there, waited for him, and never showed up. So a little while later, I called him and said, hey, are we still on for today? And when he realized who I was, he's like, oh my God, I realized I was out and about. I didn't ever write the appointment down. I'm so sorry. I'm finishing up another job. I could probably be there in about 30 minutes. Is that okay? And I realized things happen. I appreciated that he took ownership of it. He admitted he screwed up, came over immediately to fix it, and gave me 10% off. All right, I didn't ask for it. He just offered it as an apology, which I appreciated. Now, and since then, I've already recommended him to some friends and family, and I know when it's time to redo this again, I will be very happy to reach back out to this guy because he took ownership of it and then came over and did a fantastic job. So step number 3, prioritize communication. I would much rather you over communicate with me rather than leave me guessing what's going on. And a very powerful example of this, it happened for our family, it was back in, I think it was 2018. And my father just suffered a heart attack. And he was going into the hospital. He was going to have quintuple bypass surgery. All right, so it was me, my mom, my younger brother, David, and some other family members. We're all sitting there in the waiting room while this process is going on. This surgery is going on for a few hours. And I try to think back to how life would have been years ago without all this technology. You're just sitting out there waiting. You have no idea what's going on. But this hospital had an app that we could all download on our phones. And throughout the entire procedure, every few minutes, somebody's role in there was providing us with an update on what they were doing. And this was the most stressful, scary time of our family's life. But here, this little piece of technology gave us a little bit of comfort and helped us to feel like we knew exactly what was going on, rather than just sitting there all day wondering and hoping maybe a doctor or a nurse comes out and shares a little piece of information with us. But it almost felt like we were right in there. And, we implicitly kind of have to trust the hospital, right? Because this was literally life or death in this situation. But it was that little peace of mind that made that entire experience still not very easy, but it made it a whole lot better. And it showed that this hospital understood the frustrations and things that were going on in the patients' lives and their families' lives, and looked for a way to make this experience just a little bit better. And I realize that this isn't something that a lot of hospitals have done over the years. And I really wish that more would, because I really can't tell you how tremendous of an impact that little piece of technology had on our entire family. And we were very grateful that they had that during that time in our lives. So step number 4, show you care. When I walk in your business, are you happy to see me if I'm a returning customer? All right, if I'm a new customer, is there a friendly, warm greeting? Does it feel like you actually care that we are there doing business with you? All right, and when you think about, when you understand the pain points, when you understand the moment and the emotions that are going on with your customers, all right, like if you are helping to sell a house, you're a realtor, or you're dealing with the financial part of it, selling a house or a car, are likely to be the 2 biggest purchases that people make in their lives. All right, and if it's a first-time home buyer, first-time car buyer, the emotions there are very different than an investor that buys and sells them all the time. The processes are the same, but the emotions behind it are very different. Are you excited about this for me? Are you going through the motions, or are you making it feel like this is a big deal? Like my dad, he always talks about when he goes to the doctor and he has to give blood or they have to take blood. He hates it, but the nurses there that make him feel like a big boy, and they're proud of him for doing this. It helps to make that experience just a little bit better, as opposed to they're just going through the motions and doing a blood draw. And when you care about the person in front of you, when you truly care about your customers, it makes us want to come back. It makes us want to come back and do business with you again. And those little moments, while taking very little effort on your part, stands out and are usually the things that people remember long after that transaction has actually finished. And number 5, do something special. Do something that you didn't have to do. And this doesn't mean going way out of your way, okay? But we as customers, if we feel like we're kind of on the inside, we're in the know, or we're getting some little extra benefit that maybe other people don't, that makes a huge difference. Like on a recent Royal Caribbean cruise that I was on with my family, we had a server that heard us talking at our table about some of the new projects that were going on in the Bahamas. And we were kind of wondering what they were. And he wowed us with a lot of knowledge, some kind of insider information on some of the upcoming projects that are going on up there. And I've got another video on it. You can click above on the card above there if you want to see more about that one. I know, like my son, one time him and I, we were outside throwing the football when the garbage truck was coming down our street. And when he got to our house, the driver got out, came over, and let my son control the claw to pick up the garbage bin and dump it in the truck. It was a very cool moment that only took a couple of seconds. Very little extra effort on his part. But my son loved it. And it was one of those things that stood out to him. And he still talks about it today. I don't really care what role you have. All right. If you are on the lookout to really make an experience happen for your customers, if everybody in the company is doing that, they add up and it makes a big difference. And it's those moments that we often, as the worker in the situation, don't even really think about. It doesn't make a big difference to us, but they really make a tremendous impact on our customers and on the people that we serve. So trust isn't built overnight. All right, but if you focus in on consistency and honesty and really caring about your customers, you will build a trust that lasts with your customers and will build a loyal following. All right, if you like this video, I think that you'll find this one here to be helpful as well. And I hope that you will also like and subscribe to the channel, so that way you can learn about our upcoming videos when they come out. So you can find additional customer service training tools also at www.snowassociates.com. Thank you all so much for watching.